Hey guys, it's Lloyd here, back again with another overview, and today we'll be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Darkfather Wave. So without further ado, let's get into it. Felt my balls drop on that one. But as I said before, today we are taking a look at the Darkfather Wave, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. This is part of their DC Multiverse line, and I'm kind of cheating here. I decided to throw in the original Death Metal Batman and the Death Metal Batcycle to kind of round things out, because you could pretty much get all this stuff at the same time. And the Death Metal Batcycle is pretty freaking sweet. So, with that being said, I have a little bit of explaining to do. I decided to take a little bit of a break from videos, because if you're like me and you post videos every single day, it starts to drag you out a little bit burned out. So I decided to take a few days off. Don't worry, the Mythic Legions videos I promised are coming. I actually have the figure sitting right here. But I do need a little bit of time to play catch up and get a little bit more ahead of myself as far as the uploading of content to this channel goes. But 3 days off isn't too bad. Technically it was 5, but that's besides the point. But as for every overview that I do on this channel, if you are at all interested in seeing any of the individual reviews of any of these figures, I will leave links in the description below so you can watch them in their full entirety. These overviews are meant for people who may not have as much time in the world to watch about an hour's worth of content on this channel. This one is for you guys. So, getting right into it, we're going to start with Death Metal Batman and the Batcycle. You kind of can't have one without the other. It's like having Captain America without his shield, or I guess in this case Ghost Rider without his motorcycle. It's just how it should be and how it's gonna be. Now, they did release Death Metal Batman in this wave with the Plastic Man guitar, which I do not have sitting here because, well, friggin' broke mine like a dumbass, and McFarlane Toys wasn't able to quote-unquote replace that figure, but I did get the Red Sun Superman as compensation. I was able to keep the Bath pieces for Darkfather, so I basically got the same amount of product for the same price. Not too shabby, but I don't have a Death Metal Batman to wield the mighty Plastic Man axe guitar that is pretty friggin' awesome and hilarious at the same time. But I did upload a review of this Batman here holding that guitar. If you're at all interested in that, that will be in the description below. But of course, Death Metal Batman here is, I think, one of my top 10 figures of the year so far. Yeah, I got a stinky poo-poo problem with one of them, but it's the same figure as the first release, and the first release is, in my opinion, I think the superior figure. I think the articulation overall is a little bit better on it, and the joint stiffness is stiff where it needs to be and loose where it needs to be, and he's got a pretty tight grip on his old scythe there. Yes, I know it's pronounced scythe, but again, I'm saying it wrong in hopes that I piss someone off in the comments. But with that being said, the Death Metal Batcycle is a completely different story. One of the few vehicles I've reviewed on this channel. I think the only other one I've looked at, I'm not counting Aethon from Mythic Legions because it's a horse, but the Cosmic Ghost Rider with his Cosmic Hell Cycle, I think that's the only other vehicle I've reviewed on this channel. This thing is amazing. For the price point of $20-25, it's really solid. Should also mention the Death Metal Batman with the scythe is only $20, whereas the one with the guitar is $25, and so are the rest of these guys. But I digress. The Batcycle, though, is fantastic. It looks awesome. as an awesome shelf presence. And again, you can't have one without the other. You got to get Death Metal Batman if you plan to get this Batcycle. But moving on from those two, and technically the Batman from this wave, which again is the same figure, it's just the first release I think is a little bit better because I think it's mostly a mold degradation thing, because they've reused it X amount of times to make that first release, and then they did it again for this wave. Might have just been a case of mold degradation. Might need to go back and tweak that. I don't know. But next up we're going to talk about Death Metal Superman, which is probably one of the cooler looking Supermen out there. Again, he has a very Warpath, Thunderbird look from Marvel Comics of all things. Down to the short hair and the band on the arm and the bear arms and just the overall Native American looking style choices they went with him, which is kind of interesting because I never really view Superman as anything like that. I mean, what was it? There was that one episode of Justice League Unlimited where he was kind of like a hobo. Then he met Vandal Savage and everything went Dr. Dolittle. No, it didn't, but you know what I mean. It went weird. But this figure is pretty cool. It's got a nice size to it. It's got a nice weight to it. And again, Native American aesthetics gets some bonus points. And the Spawn chains help too, which is another thing Death Metal Batman has. So Death Metal Superman, it's a solid figure. Probably second favorite in the Darkfather wave. But next up, we're going to talk about Death Metal Wonder Woman, who is my favorite from the Darkfather wave, because we didn't have her already. I love Death Metal Batman, but if I already have it, and it's just kind of a reissue with different accessories, automatically disqualified from the ranking. That's how I roll. That's how I've done it with countdowns on all kinds of things like Marvel Legends and whatnot, because they do re-release a lot of stuff in that line, as you all know. But Death Metal Wonder Woman, really awesome figure. A little tricky to stand because she's got the Motley Crue boots going on. Those crazy high heels, but it's doable. It's achievable. And she has that badass chainsaw sword, so you can't go wrong there. And skull shoulder pauldrons. A little bit of guar thrown in there for your, those of you metal enthusiasts out there. But yeah, she is definitely my favorite figure in this wave, the Darkfather wave. Again, Death Metal Batman and the Batcycle kind of don't count because they were released before that. I'm just throwing them in here for shit the giggles. But moving on from her, also kind of a contender for top 10 female figures of the year, or top 10 figures in the year overall at the moment. But moving on from her, we have the Robin King, which if you have the Damian figure from the, I believe it's the wave that the Death Metal Batman comes from, as well as the Drowned and the Red Sun Superman, funny enough. You have that Damian figure. This figure is pretty much a little bit of that with some new parts, like the cape, the head, the lower arms, and I believe the lower legs, and maybe some of the torso pieces. I'm not too sure on that, but he's definitely unique enough that, yeah, he doesn't look exactly like the Damian figure, but you can definitely tell that is the skeleton for this guy. I will say one thing about this wave, it's a little light on accessories. Superman came with some alt hands, Wonder Woman just has the sword, and the Robin King, or King Robin, whatever you want to call it, excuse me, only comes with alternate hands, and I feel like he should have come with some kind of weapon or some accessories. I thought he had like a King's Scepter at one point, but I guess not. Maybe he could have come with the Batman Who Laughs His Cane. That was kind of like the skull with the bat cowl on it. That would have been kind of cool. Not as cool as what I just did. I squeaked there. And here I thought my balls dropped. Either way, Robin King is cool, but probably my least favorite figure in the wave just because he's the smallest and I think should have had a little bit more going on as far as the accessories go, but still a solid release. Actually, he is a little bit gummy, isn't he? I forgot about that, but you know, that could vary from figure to figure. It is hot as balls right now, so that could very much contribute to why he is gummy, but whatever. Moving on from him though, and wrapping up this wave, we have the Darkfather. Build-A-Figure, Collect and Connect figure, whatever the heck you want to call it. Really solid. I gotta say, that's probably the best build-a-collect-a whatever figure McFarlane's done so far. It's nice and solid as far as the construction goes, where you plug in the build-a-figure parts. It stands nice and tall. It's got a nice weight to it. The only thing is the head and the cape seem a little bit loose and like to pop off occasionally, but you can easily fix that. Excuse me again. Gee whiz. You'd think after taking a vacation I wouldn't be so damn tired all the time, but what are you gonna do? What are you on? This is free content. That's what I should be saying. But Darkfather is a really solid Build-A-Figure, really solid collect and connect figure, whatever you want to call it. I do think he should have had some fist hands instead of just the open hands, but those are better for throwing Death Metal Superman into a molten pile of hot lava, isn't it? That's why he's got the dark side arm. But with that being said, again, the ranking: Death Metal Batman, Death Metal Wonder Woman, Darkfather, Death Metal Superman, and Robin King. If I had to rank them individually, that's probably what I'd go with. As much as I like the Darkfather, he ain't the Death Metal Wonder Woman. I was really looking forward to that Wonder Woman. Mostly because I was a little bit disappointed in the Last Night on Earth Wonder Woman. Just a little bit. Not so much as far as the design goes, but just the overall kind of tightness of the joints in some places and whatnot, and the gummy sword. This one has the chainsaw sword is a little bit gummy. Excuse me, but not too bad. Not too bad. And I think it just looks a little bit more sexier, if you know what I mean. So with that being said, we're gonna wrap this thing up. It's a pretty solid wave. If you want these, get them. They're readily available, I believe, especially at GameStop, which, by the way, they price match now. So there's that. But in case you are interested in watching any individual reviews of any of these figures, I will leave links to all those in the description below. Check them out at your own leisure. But, as always, if you guys enjoyed this overview, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload more content like this to the channel. I'm going to be going back to some more reviews. I finally got Dinobot from the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom series, so we're going to be taking a look at him probably tomorrow. If not that, then maybe Sunday. I have no idea. I do need to wrap up my Dark Knight's Metal reviews and review the Red Death 2-pack, but I just haven't had time to fit it into the schedule. That's probably coming up very soon though. But if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions for live unboxing videos of all kinds of stuff. Still waiting on that massive Motu one. Not sure what's going on with that, but we'll get there, I promise. And in case you do miss the live unboxing videos, I do upload them to my IGTV afterwards, so you can watch them in the full train wreck glory at your own leisure. But, as always, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this wave, if you like or don't like it, if you're jonesing for it or you're going to pass on it. Personally, if you're a fan of this comic, I think you should pick it up. But if you're going to be picky-choosy, get the first Death Metal Batman and the Batcycle, Superman and Wonder Woman. You should be good with that. I don't think Darkfather is an essential character. I think he's more like a side character. I'd like to see the Batman Who Laughs in his purest form, most powerful form from this series, eventually, along with maybe a Swamp Thing. And apparently Jonah Hex and Sergeant Rock were in this comic too. It'd be nice to get some other characters. We are getting Etrigan from, I believe, was it Demon Knights or Infernal Knights or something? That'll be pretty sweet. He'll look good with these guys, even though he's from a different comic entirely, but I digress. As always, don't forget to keep comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when you start to ramble about how awesome this line is with its semi-diverse character selection. Again, lots of Batman and Superman, but I'm not really complaining. I don't mind it as long as they look different, I suppose. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.